Welcome to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm Curtis Smith. I'm in Alcalde at the NMSU Agricultural Science Center at their field day where there are a lot of demonstrations of things they're doing research with. Earlier this spring, Dr. George Dickerson showed us what mulches and row covers can do to help you in your garden. And here we see the results of your work, George, and there's some dramatic results.
Yeah, there's a real big difference. What we're looking at here right now is kind of a woven black polypropylene mulch. And this is different than regular black plastic which many commercial growers use because one, it's woven, and so water will penetrate it, so when it rains you can actually harvest water, and that's very important here in New Mexico where water is so critical. The other thing about this is regular black plastic tends to break down in ultraviolet light. So by the end of the summertime, you've got this plastic blowing all over your yard or your field. This stuff has an ultraviolet light inhibitor, and it's guaranteed not to break down for 5 years. In fact, this stuff you see right here in the field right now, this is our 5th year here, and you can see it's holding up pretty well. Now, not only does this harvest water, but it's black. It helps warm the soil up so we can get a earlier production. And one of the big things that it does is it helps control weeds. Here you can see our check plot here. We've got weeds growing all over the place out here. Unless you're into really hoeing weeds, which most people aren't, you'd like to have this black plastic down to control weeds. Now, the other thing that we did in a plot right next to, over here next to the check plot, is we put a row cover over the top of this. This is a spun-bonded polypropylene row cover. You can blow through it. It's not like a clear plastic. It will help warm up the plants even more than the black plastic. And we have found already this year that we were able to increase production significantly using this row cover. And it also helps protect it from frost. And it helps protect it from hail and wind. So we have found this to be very, very, helpful in terms of getting crops off earlier, which we did up here at Alcalde, and that's very important in a very cool season area.
And what crops did you use this with?
We used it basically with pumpkins, and right here what we have, see growing around in back of us here is what we call a butternut winter squash.
A lot of people ask about that, want to know when is their squash ripe?
Well, let's go over here and take a look at some of the squash that's in the field, and we can talk about how to harvest this and when it's right to harvest.
Let's go look.
Now, Curtis, this is butternut winter squash, and you can see this one is still a little bit on the green side. It's not ready. What you want to do with butternut is you want to get a nice tan color like this.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it will just barely dent with your thumbnail. And that's why you can tell that it's ready to be harvested. And then what you can do, and this is a winter squash, so you just, if you want to cook this, you just cut it open, take out the seeds, and then put in some butter and some brown sugar like this and bake it. And it's really probably one of the finest winter squashes that you can buy. Now, on a pumpkin, of course, you want this good orange color. And again, just like the butternut squash, you want to just barely be able to dent that with a thumbnail, and you can tell that it's ready to be harvested.
George, I see when you harvest, you leave the stem.
Right, and the reason we leave a stem on like this, you'll see this a lot commercially like that, because if this goes in a truck, you cut it off about maybe 1.5 inches from the top, because when it's traveling in a truck, if you knock that top off, it will leave an entry point for bacterial soft rot. Also, by having this, it makes a nice lid. So when you make a jack-o'-lantern, you can lift it right off.
And is that the same rule for doing the squash?
No, well, basically, you still want to leave a little bit of nub on there.
Prevent the rot.
So, to prevent the rot.
Okay, and are these the only crops you grow with these mulches and row covers?
Well, there's a lot of different things you can do, even cool season crops and stuff. But one of the things we're looking at is sweet corn to get an earlier production on sweet corn. So let's go take a look at that.
Okay. Well, George, we're in northern New Mexico at the end of August, and this corn's finished.
That's right, and the reason is because we wanted to come off early. And what we did, we have 2 varieties of early sweet corn in here. We want to try to get to the market early, get that early price. But what we did is half of it we covered with this row cover again to get an early start. We were able to come off about a week earlier or so, but actually we had a little bit of problems earlier in the season on planting this in because we didn't get the irrigation water here right away. You could probably get at least maybe 2 weeks earliness. And if you can get on the farmer's market, you can get earlier, you can get a premium price. You notice One thing, we didn't put down a black plastic mulch
Okay.
down here, and you can see that bindweed growing down there. That's a major problem, but it's kind of hard to put this plastic down for that type of a system.
Well, George, we've got some techniques that New Mexicans can use to enhance their gardening. Thank you very much.
You bet.